In this video I'm going to be unboxing and demonstrating this relatively cheap Chinese-made heater. It cost me £135 with free shipping, and these are, I think these can actually reach £800 to £1,000 for one of the well-known brands. I may be wrong, it might be more or less, but yeah, this is it. This is the Chinese-made one, and to be honest, it looks quite good. I have seen other reviews of this on YouTube, and that is what tempted me to get one of these in the first place. I can imagine most people buying this will use it as a night heater in a vehicle, but I'm actually going to use it as a workshop heater just to take the chill off. I'm not expecting really high temperatures, just to make it a bit more manageable in the winter months. So this is the box full of all the bits. You do get everything as a kit, at least you do from the place I purchased it from, and you also get the 10-litre fuel tank. You do have to drill your own hole though to put the fuel outlet in. There are a few operating instructions, but to be fair, they are fairly difficult to understand. It's been translated, I'm assuming, from the Chinese language. So first of all, we have the mounting plate. This goes underneath it. We also have two ducts. This is the duct for the fresh air going in and also the warm air coming out. Some clamps and also some bolts in there as well. Just a bit of hardware to mount it all together. There's the wiring harness, which actually does seem to be quite good quality. The fuel line, you get plenty of it, so that's nice. There is the exhaust pipe, which I found was actually quite loose fitting, even with the clamps provided. That is for the warm air. That's for the clean air going in. This is the fuel pump. We then have the LCD control unit, the clamp for the fuel pump, and also in there we have the muffler. There are a few zip ties, cable ties in here, and a bit of other mounting hardware too, which is all very nice to have in the kit. Before I start putting this together, I just want to show you the exterior and under the cover, not interior, because I'm not going to take it apart. Got the two ports there, intake and exhaust. This is where the warm air comes out, and this is where the cold fresh air goes in. You can actually unscrew the mesh, and then the cover can come off, and you can see what it looks like under here. So essentially, it's a very simple design, but very effective. The fresh coal there is sucked in by the fan. It blows the air over these fins, which obviously get hot because it's being heated on the inside. That's where the combustion is happening, and then it blows that air over those fins and out the other side. So a fairly simple process really, and the idea behind this is so you don't have any nasty fumes, which is always a bonus. So this is what it looks like when I've just roughly put it together. I say roughly because it isn't put together properly. It's not sort of mounted onto any kind of frame or wall or whatever into a vehicle. There's the fuel pipe with the fuel filter and the fuel pump. I've now taken some time just to roughly set it up for this demonstration. This is certainly not the finished article, but yep, there is the nice warm air pipe, and we also have the LCD screen lit up, and everything is all wired in. So you can see the current temperature. It has been running recently. There's a few controls including heat, battery voltage, and also the error code system. So if you have an error code, it's going to appear here. Luckily I have nothing at the moment. Hopefully it'll stay that way. So underneath you can see how I've routed this. It's very important that your fuel line does not touch your exhaust pipe. It might sound obvious, but you just never know how simple it could be for it just to touch and then melt. Also, the routing of your exhaust pipe is quite important. It must be outside, definitely not inside, as that can cause buildup of carbon monoxide and other really nasty gases, very harmful. I don't want to sound patronising, but you must be quite careful when setting these things up. So here we go, this is the LCD screen with a remote control. So you can control it remotely, which is always a nice idea, not too sure if I'm going to use it, but yeah, the feature is there. So the first thing I need to do is hold down the OK button and the down arrow, and then when it starts flashing off, press the up arrow, and that will start the pump to get all the air out. So it is the bleeding process, which is very important before you actually start this thing properly. So I've already done that, so I can now start the heater. And with this version, which has the LCD screen, it does actually tell you exactly what's happening inside the heater, which is actually a very nice feature. So you can see currently we have the red glow plug light, which is obviously to start the combustion process. This is when it's going to take the largest drain on the battery. So, well, I always keep a battery charger on it just to keep the voltage up, because it is going to be drawing those amps, and well, a decent battery probably could do this anyway without suffering in any way, but yeah, if it's like an old battery, it may struggle a little bit. So as you can see, it's starting to burn the diesel, although not very effectively at this stage. That's why it's smoking, but it will start to run much hotter and the smoke will clear. It does also smoke a little bit at the end because the glow plug comes back on again, and it is still injecting a bit of fuel. So as you can see, the fuel pump is laying down. It shouldn't be. There is an optimum position for this. I think it's between 15 and 35 degrees. But as this is just a test, I decided just to go for it because I was quite excited to get this thing going. So yep, the fuel pump has started up. It doesn't start straight away. The glow plug is on first and the fan is also going slowly. But when it starts to pump the fuel, the fan will increase in speed and it should start to burn the fuel efficiently. Then eventually the fan speed will pick up, the glow plug will turn off, and yeah, you'll be able to tell that it's all running smoothly. At least I did anyway. It did become obvious when it was working correctly, because originally it didn't work for me because I had too much air in the line. It turned out to be a defective fuel filter. So yeah, when that was changed, it was really good. So you can see the current temperature, the current battery voltage, which has dropped. No codes, that's good. You can set the time if you want to, but I've just decided not to. So I'm going to keep this process going now so you can hear the entire build-up to when it's working at full capacity. It does take a few minutes to go, but I think it's fairly quickly really. You can also see on the LCD screen where there is the symbol of the heater. There are a few bars now appearing. There's 3 bars. It's like a turquoisey green colour and a yellow colour. They build up as it heats up, so basically just notifying you of how hot it is. And there are 2 arrows flashing, just saying the air is coming in and the exhaust is going out. So as you can hear, it's now just cooling down. It's still very hot. The fan will keep going for some time just to make sure everything really has cooled down. The glow plug comes back on again, and I think it just burns off excessive fuel. I don't know, because it keeps pumping in, but it does. It sorts itself out, and it all works very well. And there we go. I've used it for about an hour, and it was okay in that time. It was good for the money, I would say that. But yeah, long-term experience, we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.